Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
We've got breaking news. It's official. Deshaun Watson suspended 11 games, and we're going to break it down. Here's the Fantasy Football News Desk intro.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
He's out 11 games. It's official. Kind of shocking that this thing was set at 11 games, not something higher. But what we do know is that the league did not want to go to federal court. We know that Deshaun Watson didn't want to be suspended for an entire season. We knew that Deshaun Watson wanted to accrue a year because his $1 million salary would be pushed to 2023, and he would essentially have to wait for his contract to kind of kickstart in 2023. He got $65 million or so in an advance and a signing bonus, and $1 million salary is what he's looking at for 2022, and that's what this was all about. If, in fact, the league and Goodell, through the hand of Harvey, came down with a 1 year, we know that this thing would have went to the courts. And the NFL didn't really want that. So the two sides did come to an agreement that would make this thing done and over. Now, the question is, a lot of people are going to think that he's out of the woods. Your boy Smitty's coming in here saying Kamara's not out of the woods. He's not. And you could come in here all you want and say Kamara's out of the woods. Kamara's not getting suspended in 2022. I'm here to tell you, and I've had two different attorneys on to tell you that that might not be the case. Maybe he does get away with no suspension, Alvin Kamara, in 2022, but there's a lot of risk that people aren't acknowledging, and I've had two attorneys on to come on and break it down. In terms of Deshaun Watson, there's still a lot of risk. There is. And yes, Watson got the $5 million pay deduction as well. And he's slated to come back in week 13. I've got the news right here on screen. $5 million, week 13 return against the Texans, ironically. And, 11 games instead of 6. A lot of people are shocked. I think a lot of people are going to be unhappy. I think the fact that this went from 6 to 11, it almost doubled, is going to make some people feel like, okay, at least action was taken. But there are going to be a lot of unhappy people that look at the NFL like a joke when they come down heavy on a guy like Ridley, who I'm not saying shouldn't have got a year, but if you're going to give a year to Ridley for betting on the sport, which is horrible, which you got to protect the integrity. I don't need to hear somebody say, Smitty, I understand you got to protect the integrity, but when you have uneven discipline, heavy hand Roger Goodell, one moment, as our attorney buddy Tony told us, one hand he's heavy-handed, one hand is light-handed. Which hand is going to come down? Which one's going to come down? What decision are we going to get? 1 year Ridley? It makes sense, but not when you give Watson 11 games. And I know someone's going to come in here, usually after the video post, not during the live. It's usually later when somebody comes in and says, Smitty, was suspended for what? He's innocent till proven guilty. He's suspended for what? If you really are defending Watson and his behavior, his serial predatory behavior at this point, I don't know what to tell you, okay? Because the dude has a as Goodell put it, and I usually don't agree with Goodell, a predatory behavior. And so he's targeting individuals that have a specific, setup financially, emotionally, the wow factor of, oh, here's a celebrity. These people weren't even licensed masseuses half the time. And this guy gets 11 games. People are not going to be happy. They're going to be happier, but they're not going to be happy. Jake dropping the super chat. Appreciate you, Jakey boy. Jake has something to say. Let's read what Jake has to say. Jake says, rate my draft. Right in the middle. Rate my draft. Right in the middle of Deshaun Watson news, Jake. Now, you did it in a super chat, so I work for you, Jake. I work for you, but right in the middle of breaking news, Jake says, me. Let's talk about me. Rate my draft. Swift, Javonte, A.J. Brown, Hall, Etienne, A-Rob, Ayuk, Goddard, Pollard, Pierce, Sky Moore, Nico Collins. I do like this team. Swift, Javonte, can't get better than that. A.J. Brown, Hall, Etienne. Like, hey, how do you like my team? Coming in flexing hot, Jake says. How do you like my team? Does it look good? Of course it looks good. You blasted your grandma, Jake. You played against maybe 8 other grandmas. I don't think this is a 12-team league, Jake. This has to be a 10-teamer for sure. But this might be an 8-team league against 7 other grandmas. Absolutely crushed it. Back to the breaking news. Jake, we appreciate you. Jake. Never too busy for you, Jake, or any of your super chats to rate your team. Never too busy. But back to the situation at hand. me, Jake. Rate my team. Hey, sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, Smitty. Is there any way you could rate my team real quick while you're in the middle of this break? Sweet. Okay, here it is. I love you, Jake. I love you. Blasting grandmas, bro. Blasting grandmas. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, so here's the thing. Watson getting 11 games, Ridley getting a full season. None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. All of it both should be a season, in my opinion. If I was in charge of this situation, it would be a year. For personal conduct reasons alone. Innocent until proven guilty, absolutely. Watson knows he did wrong. Watson even came out apologizing, and I know he was under pressure to give an answer at that moment in time on TV, and he said something he probably shouldn't have said, almost admitting to wrongdoing in his apology. But look, we got to talk about this from a fantasy perspective. It is what it is right now. As it stands right now, this man is coming back in week 13 against the Houston Texans. Like, did Roger Goodell plan that? Was Roger Goodell about to hand him a 12-game suspension? Let's double the suspension. Let's double the suspension to 12 games. Excuse me, Roger. Somebody's pushing papers in the meeting. Did you know that if we end up making 11 games, he'll face Houston in week 13? Are you kidding me? This is a good PR move. Let's have this. Yep, 11 games, not 12. 11's the ticket. 11 game. Oh, sorry, Harvey. Harvey, here's the mallet. Harvey, can you do this for me? You're my proxy. And then Harvey says, it's Commissioner, 11 games. 11 games, says the commissioner. I mean, myself. I say 11 games. Roger Goodell, the puppet master. Here we are, 11-game suspension. Why not 12? Why not double it? Double it had such a nice ring to it. Double it. Sue Robinson, 6 games. No, double it. No, Houston week, okay, 13, 11 games. We want to have some drama. What a move by Roger Goodell. $5 million out of 230. $5 million. They couldn't have come up with a bigger number. Hey, why don't we take $15 million and donate it to women with domestic abuse issues in situations? Why not donate $15 million of Watson's $230 million guaranteed? We couldn't, triple, quadruple, quintuple the fine? Like $5 million as a spit in the face to a guy that got $230 million guaranteed, getting $65 million for pretty much sitting out most of the entire 2022 season. You know, it's just I feel like the NFL gets laughed at. Roger Goodell gets laughed at the way he disciplines, the way he's inconsistent. $5 million, $5 million. Why not? This guy's making $230 million guaranteed. Why not 15? Why not 20? Why not $30 million donated to women that have been domestically abused, or something that will make this thing look at least like, okay, here, something came out of nothing here. $5 million. I know $5 million is a lot of money in general, but this guy just got $230 million guaranteed. Slap in the face. So here we are. What are we doing? Is Watson playing in week 13? You probably think I'm going to say yes. I don't even know if that could happen. I don't even know if that's for sure going to happen. Why? Because there's a statute of limitations on these situations. And if you think for a second that this prosecutor is done, you've got another thing coming. Because this guy has been one step ahead of Watson the entire time. When things get good, the opposing side drops a bomb. And I'm here to tell you, maybe he plays week 13. He's set to play week 13. He's scheduled to play week 13. But what if 4 or 5 more cases come out of the potential 100 people that are potentially affected by this situation? To be fair, there have been 2 reports, 166 women, the other is up to 100. So if there are 66 to 100 potential situations, not all of which I'm claiming are probably legit, how many do you think are going to pop up between now and March, when the statute of limitations is up in March? I think it's like March 15, March 14, March 16, something like that. I mean, what if something comes up? What if another case gets dropped? This is a different case if it comes up. Any case that comes forward, yeah, 11 games, 11 mil. I agree with that. I think that's the way this should have been looked at. $1 million per game. At least. That would have had a nice ring to it, just like Roger Goodell said. 12 games will double that. Wait, what? He could play Houston in week 13? if we don't make it 12 games and we make it 11, I like that. Let's do it. Let's make it. Let's go down to 11. It's got such a weird ring to it. Let's go from 12. No double. Double's not the ticket. 11's the ticket. Houston Texans, week 13. That's what I'm saying. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ron Navy with the super chat.
Let's go, mashed potatoes.
Ron Navy says, NFL is about to get a major public backlash, especially from women. NFL was better off letting it go to the court, in my opinion, says Ron Navy. And I couldn't agree more. But what I'm trying to tell people right now is that this situation isn't over. There are 66 to potentially 100, and even if we assume the 100 is totally wrong, there are potentially 66. Let's go back to that. 66 potential situations where there's a statute of limitations till March. 1, 2, 3, all it takes is one person to come forward that may have almost come forward. And you got to think, out of 66 to 100 cases, there probably is at least one person, 2, probably 5, probably 10, but let's say one person that was going to come forward that didn't, because they didn't want to be in the spotlight, and they were maybe almost convinced by the attorney to come forward, and they didn't. Does anybody really think out of 66 people that one person isn't gonna that feels like they were wronged? Okay, so I'm not saying right or wrong, innocent until proven guilty. I get that. What I'm trying to explain is if there is a person out there that does feel like they were wronged and they didn't come forward, this slap in the face might push them to come forward. One more case comes forward, it's a new situation. The NFL interviewed all 22 to 24 women involved and did their own independent investigation, which is what the personal conduct policy judgment that Sue Robinson came to, her recommendation based on the NFL's independent investigation on violating the personal conduct policy that included interviewing all the victims, looking at all the evidence, and coming to a determination. That was based on the 22 to 24 people. Not on 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 more that could come forward, which will be new situations, new evidence, different day that it happened, different circumstances that it happened, could have unraveled differently in one way or another. And so whoever comes forward, if another one does come forward, will be interviewed, and this will be looked at for further discipline. There's no way 2 or 3 more people could come forward, let's say. And I'm not saying that's guaranteed to happen. I'm saying it seems like a plausible concept. Does it not? That if there's 60 to 100 people, the statute of limitations is March, and people are going to be upset by this ruling, that if someone was on the edge, they might come forward. If one case came forward, it would have to be re-looked at. You would be doing a disservice to the individual that is coming forward and saying something if you're going to interview 22 to 24 other people and look at their situation and not look at this one. Now, they could look at it and say, no, I think this person is not telling the truth. That could happen. That could happen. But they will look at it, and there could be a whole nother set of disciplinary action or recommendations or whatever that come down from one new case. So my point being, this is not like cemented in the end all be all. It just isn't. What's up, Hyphy? Hyphy in the building, dropping the super chat wad. Let's go, Hyphy.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, man.
From the fantasy.
Whoa. This Watson stuff is getting, like, I understand it's getting old to people. This is breaking news. I had somebody tell me, can you stop posting on Watson? I don't care. Look, it's breaking news. I got to do a live stream on it. Are you out of your mind? Just want to hear mashed potatoes sound. Well, you heard it, good buddy. Let's send Hyphy to the moon as well, on top of that. Here we are. I thought I was going to get the afternoon off. I was about to eat lunch. I was about to Netflix a little bit, take a little time for myself. But no, this news had to break because news always breaks. Why this didn't break on a Friday, it's beyond me. Why Roger Goodell didn't double the suspension, we know why. Because he wanted the Browns to face the Houston Texans in Week 13. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, this guy, Roger Goodell. He can't stop trying to connive and be a puppet master at any point. Week 13 against the Texans? Week 13 against the Texans? Are you out of your mind? Week 13 against the Texans. Are you out of your mind? Let's have him return. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 11 weeks. In 11 weeks, he played the Texans. This guy sacrificed a game. You know he sacrificed a game so that he could get that Texans-Browns matchup. Unbelievable. Underdog, we'll do an underdog draft tonight, mock drafts tonight. Don't worry, we're here for it. Ron Navy dropping yet another wad. Ron Navy, appreciate you, good buddy, good pal.
Thanks for the super chat. Giddy up.
Ron Navy says Watson is at a press conference right now. Okay, let's see if we can pull that up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Ron Navy. Unbelievable, bro. Let's see if we can get that on the big screen here. I got two big televisions in the studio. You think I'd use one of them once in a while when I'm doing a stream, so I can watch it, tell you what's going on. Ron Navy, thank you for the update. Unbelievable. We had news that the hernia surgery took place for Walker. Walker should be, potentially available for week 1. I would say that's a little optimistic, but either way, he should be fully recovered at some point early on, if not in week 2 or 3 or 1, somewhere around that time frame. And that's great news. That's great news for everybody that has been fearful that Walker could be out, the year or a big significant amount of time. Okay, so we got this, we got Watson. Watson looks... Wow, Watson just... I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's over, write it in permanent marker. No, HB, it's not over in permanent marker. I just explained why it wasn't. HB, you also disagree with everything I say, too. I've noticed. Watson is for some brutal chance, all deserved, says Jake. He's going to get a bunch of brutal chance everywhere he goes. They're going to be screaming things from the crowd. This guy is not going to ever see the end of this. And honestly, I think the pressure is going to be too great for him. I don't see him returning to his old form for very long. Not to mention, I don't even know how this is going to shake out. Like I said, a month from now, if something pops up. Like, can you imagine if something pops up between now and the Week 13 Texans game, which was orchestrated by Roger Goodell to be the matchup? Can you imagine what happens when a case or two pops up? This is not over. It's not. Walker, 4 to 5 weeks. We'll see, Hazelnut. They're still talking about it maybe week 1, but I think that's optimistic. I think week 2, 3, or 4 is more likely than week 1. But this was not the sports hernia surgery, so he should be a lot better off. Hazelnut says hit him hard. He's not getting hit hard. He's getting a softball. Jaguars chant was hilarious, says Michael. Fight it, don't give up, says Doc. Watson will be the most booed player in NFL history. Look, the Browns, I agree, Meet the Woo. The Browns made the worst trade in NFL history, signed the worst contract in NFL history, and it's not over. I'm just telling you that right now. Whether he gets another game or not eventually is to be determined, but it's not over. There's going to be a lot of controversy involved, a lot of backlash. 11 games was more a slap on the wrist than it was a heavy hand. That's for sure. And the NFL is going to hear about it. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of backlash and we start hearing about it. Unbelievable. Smitty, send Yahoo for a lap since they updated ADP overnight. What is the ADP update on Javonte? I imagine that's what you're meaning. Javonte's going to the moon. Vamp, appreciate your super chat, Vamp.
Thanks for the super chat. Giddy up.
Good buddy. Vamp says, how does Watson's case affect recruiting talent? I mean, I don't know, bro. I'm sure all these things affect recruiting talent, but like, what perspective do you mean? Like, if someone has a shaky track record, are they going to be less likely? I don't think. There are a lot of players that have had shaky track records. All it takes is one team to believe in somebody or to give somebody a chance, so I don't know that it changes too much. $30 million in fees and settlements, still up $200 million, says R. Smith. $5 million was a slap in the face. This $5 million figure is just a slap in the face. It should be something significant and donated to women of domestic abuse situations or something like that, yeah, or violence or assault, like something along those lines. $5 million. I mean, $5 million is a lot of money, but not in this context. Javonte got a big bump or a bit of a bump. Lance got a bump. ETN got a bump. You guys are talking about Yahoo. Yeah, the ADP data gets updated quicker in August. So, if news breaks, a bunch more drafts are take place. They can set that reset of how far back is the ADP going to get adjusted. Sometimes you can filter it yourself. But pre-rank lists are the most important part of ADP data because most draft software or draft apps like Sleeper or ESPN or Yahoo or wherever you're drafting, that pre-rank list is driven by ADP. And the crazy part is when they update that and you see Javonte go from 18 overall to 12, people will draft Javonte 12. People will draft Javonte where it's being recommended. If Javonte is, let's say Yahoo tomorrow puts Javonte number 8 overall, Javonte will go 7, 8, and 9 on the regular, back to back to back to back to back to back. Javonte will go exactly on average where Yahoo or Sleeper or ESPN or wherever you're drafting, he will go exactly where he's being recommended by the ADP rank. He's not going where you think he's going, where I think he's going. He's going where people are told to draft him. The ADP pre-rank is so influential, it can be a hindrance or it can be a positive. In the case of Joe Burrow on ESPN, Joe Burrow's continuing to fall further and further because the ADP rank, the pre-rank list, doesn't realize he's good. And on ESPN, when Joe Burrow's the 8th or 9th or 7th or 8th or 9th quarterback recommended, it's Joe Burrow season on ESPN. Let's go.
Let's go. Mashed potatoes.
You want Joe Burrow on your team in 2022 draft on ESPN. Let's go.
Let's go. Mashed potatoes.
Because you're getting him exactly where that pre-rank says he's going to go. Now, Javonte, if Javonte climbs into the top 10 overall, he's going in the top 10 overall. That pre-rank list will determine it. Why is ESPN trash? Genuinely asking. I don't know. People like to rip on the big, media. I mean, ESPN's bad for commissioning, but it's pretty good to play on. Like if you're an owner, I actually like ESPN a lot as an owner. As a commissioner, I give it a 1 out of 10. It's the worst commissioning app on the planet. You can't make changes later. It's awful. So, but as a player, I don't mind it at all. MFL is very, very clunky and old, but it's very reliable. As a commissioner, you can do pretty much whatever you want. So it just depends. Smitty, did you sleep well? Not really, bro. I rarely sleep well. I got things to do, bro. Appreciate subscribing, my man. My league is ESPN, says Derek. Would you hold Watson in Superflex or letting him hit the waiver wire? You can't put him on waivers. He's at the moment. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate you subscribing. Ed, to the moon.
To the moon.
I mean, he's right now set to play in week 13. You can't drop Watson at a Superflex. No. We don't know. Me telling you that it's not over doesn't mean that's guaranteed, bro. I'm saying he might not get another game, period. He might play the rest of his career and never miss another game after these 11 games. But I'm telling you, it's not over in terms of like the drama, people calling for more, the backlash, maybe another victim coming forward, the NFL looking into that, maybe determining no more suspensions needed. This case doesn't warrant it that came forward. Or, hey, we're giving a whole nother 4 games because 2 people came forward and we investigate that now. It's not over. It's not over. I don't know what that means exactly because no one does. No one does. And Watson, Deshaun Watson continues to deny all wrongdoing according to Jake Trotter believes he's innocent. Pro Football Talk is reporting that issues a statement acknowledging resolution of discipline, and he takes accountability for the decisions I have made. So the tweets are all over the place that my boy Vlad said in a message to me. And or is that Raj? I think it's Raj. Raj sent a message in our little group chat we got and said that, these tweets are, it's crazy. It's crazy. We're going to have differing opinions all over the place. People will be upset. People will say, for what? You got fined for what? $5 million for what? He didn't do anything. Then there'll be people that say he should have got, should never return. Everybody's all over the map. Have you seen Top Gun yet? I have not yet. I've been waiting for it to come out on iTunes on Tuesday. I've got my pre-order ready. I think I'm going to shave everything but the stash on Tuesday's show, or maybe even Monday's show to prepare. We'll make it Top Gun week. I think next week will be Top Gun week. Top Gun week, let's do it. I want everybody to show up in their uniform. We want a Top Gun stash. I'm going to show up in my Top Gun stash. I'm going to shave all this down, and we'll roll with this right here. That's Top Gun week, baby. I'm going to watch that sucker on Tuesday late night, give you my full review on Wednesday. Seems like it's going to be the best movie of all time. Can't wait. Looks like the best movie of all time. I haven't seen it yet. I don't have time to go to the theater, bro. I wish I could. I've just been waiting for it. Just been dying waiting, sitting wondering when it's going to get released. I put my pre-order in on iTunes a while ago. Top Gun week, baby. Come with your stash. Bring your stash game on Monday. It's Top Gun week on Monday. Starting Monday through Friday of next week, we're all wearing the stash. It's an honor system. I can't see any of you, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, so you guys better do it. Honor system, let's go. James Robinson ready for week 1. How does this affect ETN, Omar? Omar, I realize you don't get to watch every show. It's not your responsibility to watch every waking minute of my show. But, bro, absolutely zero negative concern, Omar. I made it abundantly clear. Not your fault. Again, you can't watch every minute of every show, but I have talked about it a lot. Negative % concerned about James Robinson. Torn Achilles tendon, James Robinson taking away from Travis Etienne, the best receiving back on this team. We are not. That can be your wingman, King says.
To the moon.
I got Miss Smitty. Miss Smitty. I don't think Miss Smitty's even gonna. She might watch Top Gun with me. But yeah, I think. I don't know. This might be something I watch at midnight and then come in and review Wednesday. I hope I get a chance. I hope there's not breaking news to the point where I can't even review it or whatever. I hope J-Rob drags ETN's ADP down so we can get him later. Meet the Woo, that might happen, but James Robinson's not a thing. Okay? Somebody's got to take some of the workload away from ETN because ETN's got to stay healthy. ETN's going to run for maybe, if we're being optimistic, 900 to 1,000 yards. That leaves plenty of opportunity for another running back. And so there's if James Robinson goes down, we need Snoop Connor to come in and take a boatload of work. So am I worried about J-Rob? No. Yeah, I kind of am. I am kind of worried about J-Rob because I don't know if he's up for the task that we need him to do. The task is to make sure ETN stays healthy because he's going to be the Eckler of old when Eckler was a wide receiver and running back, not running back and wide receiver. ETN needs to be the Eckler of old. Deshaun Watson's 11-game suspension will begin August 30 on the NFL roster cutdown day. He may return to the team's training facility and participate in limited activities on October 10th. On November 14, he can resume practicing, and Watson can play again December 4 against the Houston Texans. That's a lot of time off. Let me say something right now. What I'm feeling about this right now, based on what I just read to you. Smitty, if my team ranks, I'm blaming you week 2. What are you even saying, Jake? What are we saying here? If my team ranks, I'm blaming you week 2. Okay. Tanks. Yeah, well, Jake, you make your own decisions. So I'm just going to hold a mirror up when you start yelling at me. But if you do well, I'll take the credit. So Deshaun Watson can't practice until October 10. November 14, he can resume limited activities until October 10. Limited activities on October 10. November 14, he can resume practicing. He looked rusty already. This will be almost another year, essentially. Like the way I'm looking at it, it feels like a year. Another year gonna go by where this guy's not playing football. I just don't know if he's ever gonna return to form. This is a lot of time being off football. 11 more games. We have 64 likes, 164 of you in here, and only 64 thumbs up. I mean, I'm here. I'm going to wear a Top Gun stash on Monday, and I got 65 thumbs up. Wear your uniform on Monday. It is Top Gun week. Okay? Honor system. Everybody show up with a stash. I'm going to show up with a stash. Joshua, I'm behind in your live video, but does it surprise you that his return is against the Texans? Yeah, I already hit that about 1,000 times over, bro. The Goodell let's double his suspension. And then somebody yelled in the background of the meeting, but he plays the Texans if you make it 11. Oh, okay, let's take a game away. We were going to double it. Doubling had such a nice ring to it. Take 6, multiply it by 2, 12. 12's the ticket. Wait, Texans week 13. Okay, make it 11 games. You know that's how it went, at least in his head. Terry Roberts, appreciate you. You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen to Watson? I don't think he returns to form. I'm not saying cut him in Superflex or anything like that, but I don't think Watson, I don't think he ever returns to form. This is too long to be out of football, and then all the pressure. This guy's going to go out onto the field and hear booing chants every time he's taking a snap. The pressure on this man, his own fault, but the pressure on this man. I don't know that he ever rebounds. I don't think he rebounds. Western dropping a wad. Any $4.99 super chat gets a standing O. Sorry to interrupt the breaking news. I have Kittle and Debo. Should I trade Kittle for Dalton Schultz or Andrews? I would trade him for Andrews straight up. Kittle versus Schultz is arguable. The fact that you have both Debo and Kittle, it makes sense to, them both blowing up at the same time. That is a stack that I don't know is super advantageous. I don't know that I hate it or I'm dismantling it in a way that is negative just to get rid of it. But if you could get Dalton Schultz, I probably would do either of those trades. Kittle has a little bit higher ADP than Dalton, even though I quietly like Dalton as much, if not more. Bear, appreciate you, Bear. But I would say if you can get a little more, go after the Dalton Schultz swap. I think Dalton Schultz has the capability of being the second or third best tight end in fantasy football 2022. Guy could catch 12 touchdowns. Andrews is an easy go get, but you can't get Andrews for Kittle. You'd have to give up something, but it depends on what you'd have to give up. But it certainly would be open to both of these. If push came to shove, I could take Dalton Schultz over Kittle. I could. I mean, you don't want to draft that way, but at the end of the day, the draft's over. And if you don't want to have the two players, I mean, as much as I think some Niner fans might be lingering in here and they're going to say, Kittle, why would you take Kittle's amazing? He's the best tight end in football. Kittle's very inconsistent because they use him as a blocker. He's too good of a blocker. And so I'm kind of thinking like I'd rather have Dalton Schultz, end of the day. Push comes to shove. Watson was so good, even if he's not good, he should be top 15. I don't know how I think of that. 15, that's not a very great quarterback. Watson got paid. I don't think he cares. I mean, Sean, it's a good point. He got $65 million. Just subscribed. Let's go, Oscar. Oscar, how did you find me? And did you just find me today? Welcome to the family, Oscar. You're Smitty.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Attaboy, Oscar. Oscar in the house. Yeah, let us know how you found us, Oscar. I'd be interested to know. But, guys, I mean, unbelievable that we're here talking about 11 games in the Houston Texans being the first game back. I just feel like that is such a weird decision by Roger Goodell because he is responsible for this decision. Roger Goodell is at the other end of the puppet strings with Harvey making this call for him because Goodell wasn't going to have happen what happened with Sue Robinson happen again. So this was his decision. Jake found the channel last week. Jake, I appreciate you. Was it recommended on YouTube? Like, how did you find it exactly? And Jake, welcome home. Jake, you're Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Channel getting picked up by the algorithm. You're damn straight. It's getting picked up by the algorithm. We're doing it live. Let us free. Set us free.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains.
We also have a little Javonte song that we can kickstart here.
Do you smell it? This is Javonte season.
I'm going to get a drink while this plays.
No reason. We come rumbling, tumbling, stumbling in the end zone. Touchdown is Javonte season.
It's Javonte season. We've been waiting for this all season. Now that Melvin Gordon out, we starting without rivalries. See me running on the field for a record victory. You don't even know me. You didn't listen to Smitty.
Uno, dos, Camera no. Dos y tres, Cuquito no. Cuatro, cinco, dame Javonte Williams. Levante para el touchdown. Oh, sí.
That's it. That song is comprised of all of your amazing voice messages crammed into one amazing song about Javonte Williams. We don't need no reason. It's Javonte season. Let's see here. Let's hit the phone lines. Let's just do it.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Call into the show. Dial 602 NFL. Dong.
Dial in to thy show. Appreciate you all. And let's talk a little foosball. I knew this was going to happen today. All I wanted was an afternoon to myself. I love being with you guys. I'm not saying that, but I just knew there'd be breaking news, which is fine. I love breaking news. Part of me wants breaking news. Like I was sitting there watching Netflix and chilling by myself, and eating a sandwich, and part of me's like, kind of feel like it'd be cool if I could go live right now. And then when it happens, I'm like, oh God. Then I got to get out here, get the graphics ready, go live. Joel says, my buddy sent me an article that Javonte will be a busy Smitty. will be a busy Smitty. Joel, show me what you're talking about. DM it to me. We love being with you too. Thank you, Meet the Woo. And take them weak arguments of Melvin Gordon elsewhere. No fear here. That's right. That's right. It's Javonte season. We don't need no reason. It's also going to be Breece Hall week coming up here. We're going to do a Breece Hall dedicated week. He's not going to go. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
I think you cut off.
You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
This is Jake again.
Jake, what's up?
Not much. So I actually wanted to start off by just saying you're going to love Top Gun Maverick. That movie is amazing.
I can't wait, bro.
Definitely a late night. I don't know if you have like a big screen somewhere in the house, but you want as many speakers going as possible. If you got the Atmos too, anything like that. Definitely the movie to do that.
Yeah, I've got I don't know if I'll watch it in here. I don't know if you can't really see it, but so I've this TV right here, but this is my small one. Up here I got the big one. It's up above, and I'll probably watch it. I don't know where I'm gonna watch it, but definitely can't wait. Can't wait.
That's awesome.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk to you about Javonte, because I actually think Javonte could be that breakout player. I'm starting to agree with you. It's every year it's someone else. I remember when I was younger, like David Johnson had a season, DeMarco Murray had a season. Like there's always a new
Did he just say
running back
could
that
be?
comes up through the
Could
ranks,
be a
and
breakout
it's their
player.
year. Like I'm kind of curious, like why do you think it's Javonte's time? And I do agree with you that it is.
I mean, I've had this debate more times than I think people even want to hear. But I mean, let's just start with this. Like, how much of fantasy football is gut instinct? A lot of it, right? A lot of it. Eyeball test.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't even need to, in some ways, I don't even need to explain myself. I just say, when I see Javonte, I see JT. The same thing I saw in JT, it was like, this guy looks like he could be the number one running back in the NFL. I see that in Javonte. And that's it. And the argument and the discussion, no one can take that away from me. No one, I don't even need to provide any evidence. Just say that you either believe or trust my gut instinct with it or not. And people that are new to the channel might not, and that's fine. People that have been here, riding with the show for years will know, okay, we probably want to listen to this or not. That's it. I mean, I don't even need anything else. It's like my eyeballs and my gut intuition tells me this is the next JT. And that's not even fair because he's different than JT. But what?
Does that gut instinct come from Russell Wilson's style offense? Because he ran it in Seattle with Marshawn Lynch for a long time, and Marshawn Lynch got a lot of carries in that Russell Wilson offense. So I feel like when you see like a Russell Wilson style roll out, throw most of his passes, like I think it's over 60% of his passes to the outside receiver. But I remember like a key marquee of Seattle's offense back in the day was pound the ball with Lynch in between the tackles. And you know more than anyone that Javonte is the number one tackle breaker in the entire league right now for running backs. I see eye to eye. I'm pretty sure that's where that belief comes from, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. He's number one tackle breaking machine. Did it halftime. That's another component of that. I mean, being the number one tackle breaking monster in the NFL, you can say that till you're blue in the face. It's great. It's a great line. He's number one. He did it at halftime, bro. He did it at halftime. He beat JT and Najee Harris and everybody out playing halftime. Not to mention, okay, there's one component. Eye test, gut instinct. We'll call that one thing. Broken tackle stat, which is staggering. That is not something you trip and fall into, especially halftime. And it proves he has the best balance in the NFL. His ability to just completely not get taken down, shed tackle after tackle after tackle. His balance is, not to mention if you watch him, you can confirm with your eyeballs that he has the best balance in the entire National Football League. If you can't tell he's got the best balance in the National Football League by watching him play, then you've got a lot of learning to do. Not you specifically, I just mean in general. He is that guy. He's that guy. He is the most difficult player to take down. On top of all that, like here's the funny part. You want like the skinny on it. This guy was top 4 to 7 overall in January, February, early mock drafting. We mock draft. I think you found us. You said recently we mock draft more than anybody. Okay, we mock draft in January. We mock draft during the middle of the season. We do mid-season mock drafts. We do it all the time. And this guy was going 4 to 7, and not just in our community. He was a consensus top 8 guy overall in January, February. What was going on with Melvin Gordon? He was expected to return. If you were looking at this in January, if you remember correctly, he was expected to stay. There was a small chance he could potentially leave and go to test free agency, but no one knew, and there's no guarantee of it at all. They had Drew Lock as quarterback, bro. Melvin Gordon was likely going to stay, and Javonte was ranking 4 to 8 overall, with no quarterback and Melvin Gordon staying. Then he gets Russell Wilson. Melvin Gordon, maybe he's going to go, then doesn't, and now he's a late second, early third round pick. He was, everything was the exact same without Russell Wilson being on the team, and he was a top 8 pick. So how does Melvin Gordon leaving and coming back? It's the human condition. People are so weird. Melvin Gordon, it's disappointment, it's expectation. Melvin Gordon wasn't going anywhere, and they had Drew Lock as the quarterback, and he was ranking in the top 8. Now you give him Russell Wilson in the same situation at quarterback, and he's almost a third rounder to everybody. I came in during that Melvin Gordon re-signing show screaming and yelling about this, and everybody coming for my neck. Smitty, it's time to give up on Javonte, blah, blah. I'm like, I felt like I was in Bizarro World. Like, do you guys realize this is a better situation than in January when you all loved him? And I had everybody just kind of trying to maybe jump ship. Not everybody. There's a lot of people still on board, but my live chat was 50% negative. Smitty, Javonte, crying emojis everywhere. This is awful. He's now a third rounder. I'm not touching him. It was half the chat was going crazy.
No, I agree. I'm definitely in the same boat. I think Russell Wilson is going to open up the run game in a way that Denver hasn't experienced in the last few years. I'm totally on board with Javonte. I think his season, he's going to end up being that guy that everyone wishes that they had in round 1, but you're going to get him at a round 2 value. It's insane. It's honestly insane. And then I was actually, follow-up question, I was wondering what your thoughts, what type of news are you looking for in the Kenneth Walker situation? Because I'm staying away from him right now. I didn't draft him. But I wouldn't be opposed to trading for him later in the season, because I know we're waiting for positive information on the whole hernia, and I know Pete Carroll came out and said that it wasn't sports related, which is good, but I'm just kind of curious what you're waiting for on that.
We got a $5 super chat from East Coast Taddy. Let's give him a little standing. Oh, East Coast Taddy in the house. I think honestly, Walker's got risk, sure, but you have to ask yourself again, is that risk baked in? And the answer is yes. Similar to the Javonte thing, the Melvin Gordon news was bad to a lot of people, even though it really didn't matter. It's kind of like one of those things in life where something happens, you freak out, you have anxiety over it, and then it ends up not being a non-factor anyway, and you're like, I wasted all that energy on thinking that was going to affect this, and it didn't. So Melvin Gordon's that way to me. So the Kenneth Walker surgery, now granted, it's not good. No one wants him to miss time right now. He could maybe even try and fight for that starting job in week 1 if he was to continue to just impress seems to be impressing Pete Carroll. He talks great about him. So it sucks that we now don't have the opportunity to see him maybe even beat out Penny in week 1. Going at the end of the day, it wasn't till week 3, 4, or 5 that we were expecting him to be the starter, and it's going to take him some time. So will it even matter? I don't even know if it will change anything. Walker could be in there in week 4, week 5. The season's a game longer than it used to be. Rookie walls are inevitable. If you kick off week 1 just full go, look at Najee last year, he pushed through it pretty quick, but Jamar Chase hit a rookie wall. Jamar Chase had a big string of games where he didn't do anything, and people were giving up on him left and right. At the end of the day, Walker was already priced for this. Like, now he's going to drop another round or two in value. He's going to be 100,000% worth the risk. You know, if you're drafting him in round 5, you're not doing it right. He's going in 8 or 9.
Yeah, I hear that. I think what my issue with now with the Kenneth Walker situation is coming back, playing behind that Seattle line, which I know that with their last few draft picks, they kind of geared it towards a power running offense. So I feel like they're going to have more issues in pass protection on the O-line than they will in run blocking. But he is going to get beat up a lot. So I almost like, because I remember people don't even remember, like, back in the end of the year last year, like, Zeke wasn't doing so well, and Tony Pollard was starting to come up. So like, I almost feel like better off taking Tony Pollard and hoping. I mean, I don't hope for Zeke to get injured or anything, but almost for like Zeke's demise. Like, I feel like
you're telling me like you don't want like Zeke to get caught in like a storm, like a tornado or a hurricane, but you're not gonna call him and tell him it's coming. You're just. You know what I mean?
It's just gonna happen.
Yeah, you just gotta like let nature take its course, but like you don't wish it upon him, but you're not gonna warn him. You wouldn't throw him a cinder block,
you
but you
saw the beginning. Saw the beginning of it last year. I remember when the big shows were talking about Tony Pollard playing better than Zeke. And
he's better. He's better.
The inevitable is coming.
He's better. Now Zeke does look a little bit better than even I thought he would at this point. But the problem with that is, I don't know how old you are or how long you play fantasy football, but like Marshall Faulk is the best example I can give for this. And you may have not ever watched him play, or I don't know. But Marshall Faulk.
That's not my generation.
Yeah, Marshall Faulk looked amazing the preseason before his drop off, and everybody thought he was going to drop off anyway, and they were like, okay, we can't take him number 1 overall anymore. He's still kind of a borderline first rounder. He was kind of like Todd Gurley's year. Like, you're like, I don't know, I think maybe, we're not sure. And then he came out and I want to say, my memory serves me correct, it was like 2 or 3 TDs in the first quarter or something of a preseason game, or it was something crazy like that. May have only been 2. And it was like, oh my God, he still got it. He all of a sudden shot up from like borderline first rounder to like number 1 again. Everyone's like, this has got to be one more year. And he looked so amazing, and he wasn't. He was absolutely, that was his decline. He fell off the face of the earth. It was very depressing to see Marshall Faulk not be Marshall Faulk. It happens to every running back. It's why I'm saying be cautious with Derrick Henry, because the mileage 1,000% matches the drop off of a player. Like, he's going to be the anomaly. If Derrick Henry is able to do it, he'll be the anomaly, which he could be, but he'd have to be the anomaly. So
I actually think that's one of the things I disagree with you on slightly, because, I mean, Derrick Henry's injury, I know it was like it was a foot. Didn't he like injure part of his his actual like what do you call it, like toe? It was like the back end of his toe that got injured. It wasn't like a major injury. It is super worried about.
It is a major.
And I mean, the guy led the league.
It is a major injury though. It's right here. It is a very major injury. The reason is because this bone right here, when it's broken, it's impossible to heal it because of the nature of it pressing up against this toe. And so when you break that bone right there, which is where he broke it, it's really hard to heal. And if you don't give it the proper amount of time, which he did, but it can be super, it could definitely ruin your foot. Like, you can, it's really tough to heal. He had a plate put in. We don't really know. He didn't have a screw. He had a plate put in to ensure that it would, heal as fast as possible and stay together. We don't know if he had that plate taken out. He could have, and we just didn't hear about it. But if the plate's still in there, it's a little bit of a concern. And not to mention, even if, let's say this is a non-factor, let's say the foot is a non-factor, he's good to go. We'll never hear about the foot again. The reason his foot broke down was the mileage. It wasn't the random person stepping on his foot. It was a freak injury. Everybody says that every injury is a freak injury. Everybody says that his injury was freak. Every injury is freak. The question is your body vulnerable to injury to where, like, if his foot got stepped on early on in his career, he wouldn't have broke it. He has 920 carries to his name in just the last 2.5 seasons. Like, it's not about the foot. as much as it's about nobody does what everyone's expecting him to do after they've had that amount of mileage, especially in a 2.5 year window. I get it. We could go back and forth on it, and I respect if you want to ride with Henry one more year. It really is that simple. It's like one more year. If you think he's got 2 or 3 years left, that's crazy. If you think he's got one more year left, I can get on board with that. Like for you, I'm not going to do it myself, but because we're at the tipping point, we don't know if it's one more year or if it's not. Like I don't know for sure. And I just feel like the odds are against it, and I don't want to be holding the bag. You apparently are okay risking holding the bag, and that's fine. To each his own. But there's the one thing I can best describe why I'm jumping ship is that what is his Dynasty ADP? If you had to guess, where are you taking him in Dynasty?
Oh, I don't play Dynasty. I'm not super familiar.
So I'll tell you, it's mid third round, maybe even fourth round. But it's at least mid-third round. Derrick Henry's dynasty value is mid-third round. And his redraft value is top 5. When you have a discrepancy that far apart, that tells you, that's almost like a Vegas line. You know how Vegas is on the money? It's amazing how they do it. They're like right on the line. They're so good at being on the line because that's how Vegas makes their money. They don't make their money on the actual game. They make their money on being right in the middle and having an equal amount. They move the line. So if you're betting on, the Cardinals versus the Niners, they want to be right in the middle of all the bets. If the Niners start getting more bets, they move the line so that they can get more people to bet on the Cardinals. If more people start betting on the Cardinals, they move the line to get more people to bet on the line, the Niners. They move the line to get it even on both sides, and then they take the vig in the middle because you're going to pay them to make the bet. That's how Vegas makes their money. They don't make their money based on, and you probably know that, but it's similar to like, I look at that with Derrick Henry's ADP, and I say, this thing's right in the middle. It's like third round value in Dynasty, top 5 in redraft. That is literally, that line is right in the middle. People are dead even in the middle of, he's got one more year left or he doesn't. Otherwise, you wouldn't see that discrepancy. It's such a crazy discrepancy. He's got 1 year left or he doesn't. And everybody's going to throw their arms up and we'll see who's right. But last year I said trade him by double-digit weeks because injury was inevitable. And everyone's going to say his foot got stepped on. I don't care how the injury happened. His body broke down because he carried the ball 400-plus times the year prior. He ran for 2,000 yards the year prior, both of which individually ruin running backs. 2,000 yards, your numbers are cut in half, and his numbers were cut in half like clockwork. 2,000 or 400 carry season, you break and never return to form, and he broke. We will see if he returns to form. So that's my Henry topic. We don't need to go there anymore. But hey, I got to jump to the next call. Fair. I appreciate you calling in, pal.
Good. Feel bad for all the women out there. And also, screw Goodell and Deshaun.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Bye. All right. What else we got? Call in.
Call into the show. Dial 602 NFL. Dong.
What's up, John? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show, pal.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Hey, I don't know if you remember yesterday I was telling you about those ADPs. I wrote a bunch down, actually, from the difference from ESPN and Sleeper. And there's some crazy differences. Like Nick Chubb, he's going 29 on ESPN. And on Sleeper, he's going 15. You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah, go ahead. I got Ron Navy on the phone Burrow. Too. Go ahead, Ron. We're going to keep you there for a second. Go ahead, Joe Burrow. What?
Joe Burrow is going 84 on ESPN. On Sleeper, he's going 53. I seen there's just so many crazy differences, and like Travis Etienne, he's going 51 on ESPN, and he's going 44 on Sleeper.
So I think typically we're saying ESPN's behind every time. They're just behind. Like, I mean, you can win.
On some players, it's weird though. Like St. Brown, he's 53 on ESPN and 66 on Sleeper.
Yeah, but they're still behind. You know why? Because because St. Brown had an amazing
Wasn't there?
St. Brown had an amazing finish. You know, so they're still. Right. This is like when you have a mullet and it goes out of style and you don't cut it and you still have a mullet and then it comes back in style and your mullet ironically is in style when you just ended up like pushing through the bad part. Like St. Brown coming off of that amazing finish, everybody was high on him, and then they kind of started to forget about him, and they drafted Jameson Williams, and then people started forgetting about St. Brown, right. And it's like ESPN still got the mullet. You know, it's like they I don't think they're high on. I don't think the ADP reflects what people really feel. Like it's just that they're still behind, and St. Brown was ranked higher.
What's up with that, Williams? How you know how long he's supposed to be hurt for?
For Jameson Williams, I mean he was like a couple months removed, if even that, when he was drafted. So it's just more like he's not injured. He's just really early on in the ACL recovery process. But if I had to guess, we'll see him after the bye week. He could play a little before that, who knows? But the bye week, I think, for the Lions is like week 6, maybe. Something right around there. So I think we'll see Jameson Williams in like week 7, 8, 9 and start getting fully unleashed. Ron Navy, what's up, my man?
What's up?
Hello?
You know, every time you talk I'm calling it.
Hey, John, I got you and Ron on. John, I got you and Ron on a merge.
Okay.
You're on a merge call,
nice.
So.
Okay.
Sounds good.
What else we got? Ron, what do you think about this Watson thing, Ron? And then I'll ask John after that. John, hold on. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay. It is what it is. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I think the NFL is going to have a lot of public backlash over it, especially from women. So, hey, let them deal with it because, you know, and actually people are going to – I love it because that's another pick. People are going to start picking up Deshaun Watson. Oh, he's going to be playing late in the season. He looked like trash in his first preseason game, and he's going to look like trash coming back after 11 games sitting there not doing nothing. So I ain't worried about him.
Yeah. I think, he looks so rusty.
I'm from Cleveland, so I'm really feeling all this.
What is the fan base in general, John? What's the fan base in general feel about Watson? Is it because the way I look at it, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but you guys are blind to it. It's like every like Cleveland Brown fan page I see is like it's so blindly. It looks like this is ridiculous again, and he'll beat this. Yeah. He'll start week 1. You watch. It's like
no, it's like all the diehards are on Deshaun's back and because we just want a good quarterback and we've just been starved to win. We're so hungry for it. And then all the people that really don't watch football, and definitely the girls, like my girlfriend, she's like, oh, who's this guy? And I don't want to support that. So like the fair weather fans that really don't watch football can't hate it. Hate it. And then the people that watched the Browns when we were 0-16, are just on Deshaun's side. It seems like.
Look, I feel bad for the Browns fans. I don't wish this upon you guys, but it is the worst trade in NFL history. Potentially, it's the worst contract in NFL history.
Oh man, I was yelling at my friends. We didn't even get a discount. Like I can understand we gave up a first round pick. I mean, we gave up what you would have traded for him.
Yeah.
If he was healthy and nothing going on. That's what I was mad about. Honestly, what we gave up.
Hey,
for
real quickly, guys.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
The Browns will never be the Steelers, okay? We're mortal enemies.
Look at Ron Navy can never. You can.
I grew up in Warren, Pennsylvania, not far from Cleveland, though, bro.
Ron's that guy.
You guys just.
Ron's that guy that's at the deli.
You know how to screw everything up.
You're at the deli,
you
Ron.
Guys screw up quarterback picks. You guys screw up running back. Trent Richards.
I've lived it. Well, I think that's why we're giving up picks like it's nothing because we just lose so many.
Hey, Ron, you're that guy that's like at the deli getting like a half a pound of roast beef, and you just all of a sudden you start talking about the Steelers, aren't you? You're just like, hey, I like them Steelers.
Yeah. Well, when you
back in 2010,
we get the best running. You're not a Steeler fan, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did some stuff too, though.
I still like them though.
When you get a known Cleveland fan and you're a Steelers fan, you got to go at it because that's just I mean, we have down here in
Oh,
Florida.
my best friend's a Steelers fan and his whole family, so I'm always hearing it.
We got a bar where one side is Steeler fans, the other side are Browns fans, and we each got our own room. And so, yeah, it's pretty awesome. So
someone's likening you to Al Bundy, his 5 touchdown game. That's Ron Navy when it comes to the Steelers. He's the Al Bundy. Hey, back in my day, we. Hey, hold on, guys. I got
Smitty.
I got a voicemail from Rock Out real quick. Hold on, let's hear it. Maybe it's a rap.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Javonte season, we got no reason but the feasting and the feasting and the beast is coming through. He be going busting and the stumbling TD crazy in the game. Javonte season on the ride, they certified straight valid now. He be coming back, he be straight running back.
Rock Out, man. Rock Out, he's got to get on TikTok.
Keep the day job. No, just kidding.
No, I mean, he like Rock Out's got to start a TikTok. That could blow up. It could blow up.
No, that's good. That's funny. So, hey, Smitty, what are your thoughts on Zeke? I was breaking him down, and I liked him going into it, but I just did a bunch of research on him, and I'm loving it. How old do you think Zeke is?
75.
I just looked, and he's 27, and he just turned 27.
Yep.
In July.
Yep.
Okay. And now he's being taken as the RB18. Even though he got hurt last year, he was still the RB7 last year. I didn't know that. I thought he was top 10 or top 12. He was RB7 last year.
That's 189 in dog years, bro. It's 189 in dog years.
And the main reason I'm liking him is, they got rid of Amari Cooper, and because the cap problem, they would have got rid of Zeke if Tony Pollard was so good. And then Zeke's still getting all the goal line touches.
How many carries do you think Zeke has on his career, bro?
I think he definitely, if he was 28, 29, I wouldn't be confident. I think he has one more year. And even the games before he got hurt, the 5 games before he got hurt, he did 3.9, but that was versus Tampa. And they got the number 1 run defense in the last 3 years. And then he had 15.7, 23.6, 20.3 and a 23.2, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, but if you watch Zeke though, he clearly was losing. He's losing a step. Like, I know he looks good in shorts, running around, cutting in practice and scrimmage, and again, this goes back to my Marshall Faulk, comment. Like, he looked great the year he fell off the face of the earth in the preseason. Like, preseason's different.
Yeah, but
even
Marshall Faulk was like 30.
But 27 is the new 30. It's not 30 anymore. It's 27.
Yeah.
You enter your 27 age season. It's equivalent to entering the olden days at 30. It's like, how old are you? I'm 30. Right. Oh my God, you maybe have this last year, bro, and that's it. You're done. Like, let me get the coffin prepared.
Well, I just think the juice is worth the squeeze. I wouldn't take him in the first or second round, but the middle of the third, I can't see him being taken as RB18.
No, not over. But ETN Breece Hall. You'd rather have Zeke Elliott over ETN and Breece Hall. I'm going to snipe Pollard from you anyway. I'm going to own ETN and Pollard. You're going to have just Zeke Elliott. Like,
I really do, because I think he's going to get more pass work, and I think he's going to get the goal line touches, and they got a top 5 offensive line. He's only 27. Now, if he was 28, and Derrick Henry's 28, had a way worse injury, and he's getting taken in the first round.
I don't want either of them. I'm not drafting Henry. I'm not drafting Zeke Elliott.
Well, the only way I would take Zeke is like I'm middle of the third or fourth.
Ron knows.
I'm not like, that's the only way I'm high on.
Ron knows this. You turn 25 as a running back, you're dead to Smitty.
You're dead. You're just off his draft board.
Yeah,
25.
I just tell Sleeper or whoever, I just take him off. I'm like, can I remove him from my draft list, please? He's getting in the way.
I just didn't know he was RB7 last year.
Yeah, but
he did that good.
But he started off really well. He had the PCL and the whatever MCL. He's had a few little lingering injuries, and like Zeke Elliott definitely has lost a step. Pollard's the better running back by far. Pollard's a more superior running back. And at some point, you got to ask yourself, you're paying 3rd round value for Zeke Elliott. Are you going to end up with a timeshare because they don't want to get rid of Zeke Elliott, they owe him. And so you have this bleeded out, diluted running back 1 that becomes a running back 2. And you're just hoping that Zeke Elliott sits out in week 9, 10, 11. Zeke's the kind of guy that could do really well for 5 weeks. And then at week 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that range, you're praying that Pollard starts because you've cuffed him.
Last year was the worst he's did, though.
But he's
I think he's missed one game his whole career.
I know, bro, but he's 27 and he has about 1,800 to 1,900 carries to his name if you include the playoffs. Yeah. He has almost 90. Think about that.
Even if it was a 60-40 split, and he's getting goal line touches and he stays healthy all year, I think he's going to go over 1,000 yards and over 10 touchdowns.
You keep saying things like, hey, first of all, I appreciate you. I don't want you to think I'm attacking you. It's just the stance.
Oh no, I want to hear it because
you keep saying things like he's only 27 or only 20. Like, dude, he's the last year of what running backs can do well. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like Christian McCaffrey has been is he on the verge of being overworked?
I wouldn't touch Christian McCaffrey. I would rather have Zeke than Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, but is part of that because you feel like his workloads? But is part of that because of the mileage?
It's just because his body, honestly, is a smaller body type.
Okay, because let me put this in perspective, though. Zeke Elliott has about 1,900 total carries to his name if you include the playoff carries. Christian McCaffrey has a 781 carries to his name. 781 carries to his name. Zeke Elliott has almost 1,900 or right around 1,900. It's just one of those things where
I get it, I just think I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not going to get him in the second or even early third round, but if it's like the 4th round, middle of the 3rd round, I think he's worth it. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think he's got one more year. I mean, Derrick Henry did pretty good last year until he got hurt.
I'm
okay.
He
was 27. And he got more carries.
On the sideline at the Dallas and Tennessee games, and he's running a Walker out to Henry and Elliott. That's what he's doing. Get off the field. Get off the field. You're done.
Yeah, well, Ron's on the sideline talking about the Steelers to people. Like, back in the Al Bundy scored 5 touchdowns while I was watching a Steeler game. All right, well, hey, John, I appreciate you. I'm gonna keep going with the calls. Ron, stay right there. And John, I appreciate.
Hey, take it easy, Smitty.
I appreciate the good content. The only thing I'll tell you, Ron or John, is that 3rd round value. What you're saying about Zeke, I'm not going to get behind, but I'm not going to make you take a lap if you're talking about 4th round value. But 3rd round value,
right.
There are still a
handful.
hand.
End of 3rd round, like the 3-4 turn.
I know, but what if it'd be ETN and Breece Hall are just much better options, man. But I feel you.
But ETN just scares me. I see the talent, and I like him a lot in the 4th.
And Zeke doesn't?
In like the 4th, 5th in ESPN, but
you know what's crazy is there are people that still love. There are people that still love. And Ron made this point about Nyheim Hines and how Nyheim Hines might get an uptick in usage this coming season. But people they love running backs that look at Chubb. He's got Kareem Hunt there. Look at Elliott. He's got Pollard. And people have been worried about Melvin Gordon. It's weird. But all right, John, I appreciate you.
Yeah. Hey, have a good one, Smith.
Later. What's up, Ron? Anything else?
Yeah, actually, I caught because I did an underdog draft this morning.
And what'd you get?
And
where did Javonte go?
Well, I was in the 1-1 spot, so I got Javonte in the 2.12.
2.12? Wow.
In the 2nd round.
I can't believe he fell that far.
That's where.
Hey,
yeah, that's where.
Taddy, you still here?
Fell.
East Coast Taddy, you still here?
Hell, Najee fell to the 2.3. It was kind of a weird draft. I mean, Henry went in the 9th, Cook went in the 10th, Mixon went in the 12th, and then you had Swift didn't go until the 2.4. He went after Najee, and then Aaron Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was weird. You don't want to know. I mean, we talk about these high-risk players, and you won't take Henry, you won't take McCaffrey, and I understand that. And I take them both. But I also want to have I minimize the risk of taking them if I can get other running backs that are high value in case something does happen to those high risk picks. For instance, today's draft, I was in the 1-1. I don't have a lot of CMC. I went ahead and I took CMC. I followed it up with Javonte. And then because I was on the turn, I got Breece Hall. So I got McCaffrey, Javonte, and Breece. And then I got McCarron, Metcalf, and Thielen, and Christian Kirk. Four really good wide receivers. And then I got Kenneth Walker later on down the road. I got him in the 8th round. He went up to the 8th round. So
Nice.
normally I can get him in the 9th.
I got James. I got James Conklin merged in. James, hold on tight right there.
Oh, you're good. I
Go-
like James.
Go ahead, Ron.
He's a good guy.
Ron, you want to tell him about the Steelers real quick?
Oh yeah. He knows all about the Steelers. He knows about. I can guarantee you, James has got some Pickens on his team.
Yeah.
George Pickens, right? I do. Yep. See.
What's up, James? James, what do you got?
All right, so I got my very first 14-team work league, and it's half PPR.
14 team,
And
okay.
You know, I'm a fan of Javonte and Chase, right? But the half PPR is kind of throwing me back because at 14, there's one or two ways the draft will go, right? Everybody will take the running backs, and I'll be stuck. But I really like the approach. Now, I've done, 20 mock drafts just this week, and it's only Thursday. Specifically for this on Yahoo. And I'm thinking running back, just because of how the league is set up, and it's more traditional players. And would you be okay with a team that's constructed around Swift, Javonte, and Hall because I can get them in both sides of the draft? Or would you rather just specifically take best player available, knowing that you're going to be very thin at running back?
How can you at a 14 teamer get those three running backs?
I'm getting those three running backs probably about 83% of the time.
I don't see that in a 14 teamer.
Site that I type everything in, and I'm getting it's crazy. However, I haven't done it since Javonte got bumped apparently overnight. So
yeah.
It may change my strategy a little bit, but with that strategy, right, I got a stable of running backs, and I'm able to put Eli Moore and Amon St. Brown on the team together to be my 1 and 2 wide receivers.
I don't mind it.
And then I back. Yeah,
I don't mind it if it.
I mean,
they're the best. They're potentially the best players available anyway, so I don't mind it. I'll go running back if they truly are the best players available. But no, I'm not going to take a lesser player just to get running backs. But I don't think those are lesser players. I don't think you'll run into a scenario where you're going to get me to say Swift isn't probably the best player available right now. Javonte's not the best player available. I like all of them, so I'm down for that. And if you think you can get those wide receivers, then you're going to be tearing it up. But do I like Jamar Chase and Javonte? I do. I had nothing wrong with that. But if what you're telling me is you're going to have thin running backs, you could go wide receiver with one of those picks and have the other two running backs. If you're telling me you're going to get three of them, you could still get Chase and two of them. But I don't think you're going to, at 14-teamer, I don't think you're getting those three running backs, but that's just me.
I've got them on the back end of the draft. If I go receiver, I don't have anything for my wide receiver too. I don't like a bunch of guys, right? So I'm stuck with guys that I hate. If I go heavy running back, I love receivers this year.
Then do
receivers, it. I mean, we've talked about it. Yeah, Amon St. Brown, stuff like that. If I go Jamar Chase, right? So I'm in the middle of the draft and I'm lucky enough to get at 4 or 5. I get Jamar Chase. Coming back around, I may get Javonte, or I may have to take. Once again, I'm big on Saquon. No, he's not, but I just think he's had a full year to finally figure things out with his body. And if it starts to get to where he's getting overworked, I'll trade him. That's how it works.
Yeah,
Same thing did with
I don't mind that.
receivers.
I don't mind that at all. I don't mind either direction. I don't mind Chase, Javonte, and ETN or whoever you said, or taking. I mean, you don't have to take ETN. You could take Swift and Javonte, and then if the right wide receiver falls, then you could go that direction. But I don't mind all three running backs. No, if they're the best players available, they're the best players available.
So.
Is it
my thing is in the
your
first
league,
round, right?
2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 2 flex?
Yes, that's the point, right? So, being a basic archaic standard league, right? Most leagues now that are with the times are half PPR with 3 wide receivers, 2 flex, stuff like that. This is a straight 1-2-2-2-1 or 1-2-2-1-1.
Yeah.
So it's
Then I like the idea. I like the idea. Just they're the best players available anyway, so it doesn't matter. Or they could be argued as the best players available. And you get the only thing
ADP and my ratings are totally different. So
the one thing I'm going to say though is that you're going to see a video on this either today or tomorrow. But my favorite draft strategy, if you want to exclude just owning Javonte, like that's a draft strategy to me. What's your favorite draft strategy? Owning Javonte? But if I had to pick another strategy, it would be Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And I'm going to have a video on that being my number 1 strategy in 2022. So it's just, I mean, think about it. You're in any given week, man, you could have 7 TDs between the two of them, like on a big game, and I think it's gonna be an amazing. And on top of that, you're getting, this is what the video will outline. You're getting one of them around 1, you're getting the other one around 6 or 7, and you have a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth to support. Anytime they don't deliver, you still can win your week because you got a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth round pick, so you can surround it with talent. It's not like when you last year if you took Tyreek Hill and Mahomes, you were paying first and maybe borderline second round value. And if the Chiefs tanked, you had only a third rounder, a fourth rounder, and a fifth rounder to support you. In this scenario, you have Jamar Chase in round 1, you have Joe Burrow in 6 or 7, and you have a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth to all support you. You are building a monster squad with that. So that's the only thing that makes me tempted to say Jamar. But I like Swift, but I love Jamar. I love Jefferson. Even if it's half PPR, even if it's non-PPR, they're still warranted picks in that first round because of how dominant they're going to be against the other players relatively in their position.
Right. Okay. I'm not a fan of 14 leagues, so I don't do them. Yeah. So if I get first, obviously it's JT all day. If I get top 4, it's going to be Jamar Chase because I don't think a running back outside of JT is worth the top 4 pick this year, but that's just me. I do like Eckler, but the goal line work kind of throws me for a little bit. Yeah, it's just I don't know. This is the only league I'm stressing on. The 10s and the 12s, I've done those forever. This was, hey, we need somebody. You down to play fantasy? I'm always down to play fantasy. Cool. How much? Boom. How many teams? 14. Oh, you know what I mean? So it was one of those scenarios.
All right, guys. I'm gonna move on. I appreciate you both calling in. Ron Navy, you're the man.
No, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. See you, James, calling anytime. Hey, Ron.
See you both.
Go Steelers, Ron.
Yeah.
Go Steelers.
Of course. Go Niners for you.
I'm not a Niner fan. I'm a Trey Lance fan.
Yeah, you are. Your closet.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Everybody thinks I am.
Look at that smirk on your face.
No, I mean everybody thinks I am. They think I'm going to be supporting the Niners all year long. Number one, I am on a Niner show, ramping up Trey Lance, and I'm so conducting that train that it's going to appear like I'm bleeding Niner red, but it's really bleeding Trey Lance red.
Well, you definitely ain't on those Steelers shows or Arizona shows, and
but I could be
other football team shows.
But I could be. I've been approached. I've been approached before about doing a team show for somebody. Like as a secondary, You know, and I've considered it, you know, to where like it's just an additional like appearance that I would do weekly, and I could do any team. I could get behind, and because I cover this from a full, you know, overview. Like I could jump into a Pittsburgh Steelers show and talk Pittsburgh Steelers all day long every day for a show. You know, like if I wanted to add that kind of content to my arsenal, I could certainly do it. I thought about it. What if I did it? What if I had 32 YouTube channels? All right, going on the Steelers show. All right, going on the. All right, Ron. I appreciate you.
I just got to rib you because Raj and them always rib you over there on this show. So
yeah,
take it easy, man.
All right, later, man. All right, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. Phone lines are off. And we are winding down. There's 140 of you still in here. Only 110 thumbs up. If you could punch that button, appreciate you. Bench League has been disbanded. No, it's not been disbanded. You got to DM me on Instagram. We're doing. There's 2 leagues that we're doing. One is the Take Grants Tomlinson, which everybody that was going to do the No Bench League was supposed to click the link that I emailed you to get into that. And if you didn't get into that, there's the James Conklin League, or the James Conklin, sorry. James is called. It's the Michael K. CPA League. It's the Takedown Michael K. CPA League that I created. That's going to be absolute blast. So if you didn't get into the No Bench League, like alternative, the only reason we didn't do No Bench League is because we didn't want to go on My Fantasy League. Everybody was really upset about going back to My Fantasy League. So we decided not to do the 96 team No Bench League. We decided to do a 22 team league, Take Grants Tomlinson jersey. So R. Smith, nothing got disbanded. We're doing that league. You just need to DM me on Instagram if you haven't, for whatever reason, gotten in there. Anyway, here we are. And if anybody's interested in the Michael K. CPA League, let me know. Smitty, I want to do a Chase Burrow stack, but just can't put Chase over Jefferson. That's okay, Chris. You don't have to, but I think there's room to draft JJ in one league and Chase in another league. If you know what I'm saying, broski. You probably talked about Aaron Jones, but what do you think about his reception upside? I think that if the Green Bay Packers want to win, they got to throw the ball to Aaron Jones to the tune of 80 to 90 receptions. Go Cards, go Pats. Okay, Jake's got a whole bunch of teams he's rooting for. Not sure if you talked Watson late. Smitty got in here late. I don't think this is over. Do you know, Prince? I've said it over and over. This is, one case could pop up between now and March. Because the statute of limitations is in March. And the league's got to look at that as a whole nother issue that they need to look at and evaluate, do interviews, interview the individual, just like they gave the respect to the 22 other people, or 22 to 24 that they actually interviewed, did an independent investigation. If 1 or 2 cases pop up between now and March, that is a whole new topic. Those are new scenarios. It's not like it's all one event that is being looked at. Like, you can't blanket, decide what to do out of all of his deeds or whatever. You literally have to look at them individually. So if 1 or 2 cases pop up, that is going to be warranted for additional league discipline. And no one's talking about that. No one's talking about it but me. I'm out here with Kamara talking about the side no one wants to talk about. The Kamara situation is not over yet. Watson's situation certainly is not over yet. And there's no blanket. This covers everything they may have done in the future. What if what he did in the future was different? What if that case is specifically different? They're not all the exact same. Everything was done differently, unraveled differently. People had different emotions, different things with different lengths of, the process or whatever. I don't even want to get into details, but everything's got different details. East Coast Tatty, you dropped a super chat, and I don't think I read it yet, did I? I'm sorry. Hold on a second. East Coast Tatty dropped this super chat right here. I closed it on accident, I think. Ron Navy, you're the man.
Thanks for the super chat. Giddy up.
Ron Navy, you're the man. Okay, I think it was East Coast Tatty that dropped the super. Here it is. Sorry, East Coast Tatty. Maybe I did address it. What's your Mount Rushmore of fantasy running backs all time? I have Priest Holmes, LT, and Marshall Faulk and AP. Sorry it took me so long to answer this, East Coast Teddy. My Mount Rushmore of fantasy running backs. So we're not talking about NFL, greats and, going into Jim Browns and fantasy football running backs. I would say number 1, Priest Holmes. Number 2, LT. And I know some will say LT over Priest, but I just had Priest was my guy. Priest Holmes, LT, Marshall Faulk. Yeah, I mean, I like your list. Adrian Peterson, Arian Foster would be number 5. But I could change my mind. I could literally, somebody could say a name and I'm be like, yeah, I like him too. Let's put him on there. You could go on and on and on. Smitty, I'm grabbing all your favorite redraft players because they are all also Dynasty Gold. I think it's a good point, Space Ricky, that I'm a very Dynasty-oriented person, and I think Ron Navy, probably this will make sense to Ron a little more, because Ron's kind of new to the channel. Ron, you haven't even been here like 3 months, but I've kind of got my roots in Dynasty fantasy football. Like the fantasyfootballshow.com is more 80% Dynasty people more than it is anything else. And the forum, which now is on the Discord, that was 95% Dynasty owners in there talking year-round fantasy football. I made my name in Dynasty because no one was doing year-round content. I've been doing year-round content since 2003. And so I became known as like a Dynasty guru, So my mentality is very much embedded in Dynasty. And that might explain, Ron, why I'm so youth geared. Like, oh, this running back is 27, I'm out. Because I'm very much coming from a Dynasty angle. And when I talk redraft, I probably have a lot of that still in the system, And I think it makes sense to have a little bit of a Dynasty lens to your redraft content, because if you're looking at a player from a longer perspective and you say, okay, I like this player ETN a lot in a Dynasty sense, then that means his redraft value is even more secure. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't like Zeke Elliott in Dynasty, that means that his 1 year of production's at risk. Like if I like Zeke Elliott for 2 or 3 years, then I'm really confident about 1 year. You know what I mean? That's why my trade calculator on the fantasyfootballshow.com, the trade calculator, which I invented, the first instant-based customer-facing, you click a button and it gives you an immediate result. The first instant-based trade calculator, I invented that in 2003. To my knowledge, we haven't found anybody that did it earlier. And there were some people that had like Draft Dominators. You download a software and it would do some evaluations. But this is the first, web-based, customer-facing, instant-based trade calculator, at least at a high volume where anybody knew about it. And on this trade calculator at the fantasyfootballshow.com, it gives you Dynasty and redraft results every time you make a trade. Because I think it's important to know both of them. Even if you're making a redraft trade, if you know what I think about the trade from a Dynasty perspective, that helps secure my thinking for 1 year. Like, okay, if he likes him this much in Dynasty, then he must really feel confident about him for 1 year. Therefore, it's kind of like a nice little backing of the redraft angle. So, baked in, boys. Smitty to 1 million subs. Let's hope, bro. Let's get it. Let's get to 100K for. Let's get to 20K, and then our goal will be 100K, and then we'll go. But we just gotta get there. We gotta get that 20K by the end of the year, and I think that's gonna get the needle moving. We're gonna get the algorithm cooking. And then we just need that assist from YouTube. You know, we just need them to push it a little bit. I think they're starting to. You know, we're live consistently, and I think that's a big thing. We're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then anytime news breaks, we are consistent. Who else was on here live immediately when the Watson news was announced? The answer is no. No one. The answer is no one. It's just us. It's just us. It's you and me. I work for you. And on that note, do you mind if I go rest? Can I have the rest of the afternoon off? I'll see you all at 7 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate you all. Thank you to all the super chatters.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space. He's on a shuttle to Mars.
Look at these. Look at these Mars men. Swift. Jamar Chase. I think JJ probably. Look, everybody's got JJ.
Spinning aimlessly in space.
I want to put JJ on here, but the thing is, like, JJ's, like, so highly ranked. Jamar Chase is slipping, you know. But I feel like JJ and Herbert need to fly this shuttle or something, just so JJ's, like, at least his face is on there. You know what I'm saying? 20K by Thanksgiving, I hope, Taddy. Let's get it there. The one thing I will say is you guys got to spread the word. You guys got to spread the word. I know some of you say you don't want to tell your friends or whatever, but you could tell people at work that you don't play in leagues with, or you play in a dumb league that you need a little competition in the work league anyway. And no one's going to watch it religiously like you anyway. You know? So spread the word, tell your buddies, tell people wearing a jersey in an elevator. You're at the mall and you see some guy wearing a jersey going up the escalator. You know how they have those TikToks where you put your hand on their hand and you're going down the escalator, go, the Fantasy Football Show. just tell people randomly. just tell people. Pat them on the back. Take a business card. I'll send you one. Put a sticky on it. Slap it right on their back as they're walking up the elevator. Let them, when they get home, take off their jersey. They see the Fantasy Football Show business card right on their back. Tell everybody about the show. 20K by Thanksgiving. You heard it from Taddy. Get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Get your one-on-one text device. Play Underdog Fantasy. Link in the bio. And real quickly, I got to pause this. No! Real quickly, link in the description. Ron Navy extended the show anyway.
Extended additional 2 minutes.
Here I thought I was going to go Netflix. And Ron's like, you're going to extend the show and talk Steelers football for 2 more minutes. Have an awesome, relaxing rest of your day, Smitty. Don't tell everybody I over talk on IG messages too. Oh, yeah. Ron sometimes leaves me like 14. I still haven't gotten to all of them, Ron. Leaves me like 14 59-second messages in a row on Instagram. And I look at it and I'm like, oh my God. I got to like play these when I'm washing the dishes or something. Get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Get your one-on-one text advice with me. One-on-one on-demand texting. Order a draft call. If you want to order a whole hour where we draft together on the phone, I have that over on thefantasyfootballshow.com. And then the other thing I was going to say, I'm live whenever news breaks, 7 p.m. Eastern. But what else was I going to say?
Show ends in 1 minute.
I don't know. Should have been a lifetime ban, says Robert. I mean, we'll see, bro. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Underdog Fantasy. Oh, I know what I was going to say. We're mock drafting tonight. So this isn't goodbye until tomorrow. Well, obviously, I'm going to see you at 7 p.m., but we're going to mock draft tonight. I'll tell you about that later, but we're mock drafting tonight, doing best ball draft tonight. We'll do a Underdog Fantasy, but you got to go to Underdog Fantasy now. Let me put that link in the description, because if you don't go do that now, then you're going to end up not being ready when we say, okay, get in. Let me restart this here. So go to this link right here. Play Underdog Fantasy. Go to that link right there I just posted and sign up now. If you don't do it now, you're not going to be ready. When I say we're going into this draft on Underdog, go. If you're not signed in ahead of time using the link I just dropped, Play Underdog, or the link in the description, you will not be signed up in time enough to get the spot. So go do it now. Phone lines tonight? Sure, Jake. While we're mock drafting, absolutely. Mock draft, Underdog draft. We're going to do a Best Ball Mania 3. Wonder how many other people get... Okay, I can't read that. Snipe City tonight. Get ready for it. Get your one-on-one text device. Order your draft call. TheFantasyFootballShow.com. It's all right here. It's all right here. Go to TheFantasyFootballShow.com. Get your content. Get your trade calculator. Your bold predictions. I'll see you later. Peace. DJ Meat Missile recruited his entire fantasy league to watch the show. Attaboy, DJ. Terry, I appreciate you. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you to Ron Navy. Thank you to Vamp. Vamp, did I answer this question? I mean, I kind of did. So, Vamp, DM me on Instagram right now. The No Bench League was converted to the Take Grants Tomlinson, but some of you didn't click the link. I sent links out to everybody and announced it in the chat. And if you didn't get in that, we have another league. We're kind of doing 2 of them to kind of absorb as many people as we can. So, Vamp, DM me on Instagram and let me know it's you. Thank you, Vamp, for the super chat. DM me, buddy. Rock out, appreciate you. All you do and your super chats. East Coast Tatty, appreciate your super chat. Western, appreciate your super chat and your support. Vamp again. Jake. Ron Navy again. Senior Hyphy, appreciate you. Jake again. Thank you all. See you later.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to
Get breached. Get breached.